Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Courtroom Insider. I'm Nate Eaton. Today is Thursday, almost Friday, the 15th of January, 2026. Months halfway over. I just realized it. About halfway over. Good to have you here. Thanks for watching tonight here on Courtroom Insider. A big day in the au pair murder trial in Northern Virginia. I'm going to walk you through some of it. We're going to touch on all of it. There were, let's see, 10 witnesses called to the stand today. 10 witnesses by the prosecution. Not a lot of questions from the defense, but we will break it all down for you tonight. I'd love to know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, we'll try to get to those. For the background on the case, it's kind of a case that, as I've talked to people, a lot of people haven't heard about it, but it's a really interesting one. Brief synopsis: man and a woman are married to each other. They have a child. Au pair moves in from Brazil. Man and au pair start having the affair. His name is Brendan Banfield. My screen just went out behind me. I don't know what's up with that. Stand by. We can't have that going on. The TV's messing up here. Sorry about this. You never know what's going to happen. I could, good thing it didn't pop up some bunnies jumping around or something. Here we go. Got to go to backgrounds. Normally it'll do that if I've been on for an hour or a while, but not today. It did it. You're seeing the transparent what happens here on Courtroom Insider. You're probably saying, who runs this one-man show? It's all me. I can't blame anybody else. Sometimes I can blame Jordan, but Jordan actually fixes things. So here we go. Ta-da! There we go, everybody. Sorry about that. Might as well start over, start fresh. I'm not going to start fresh. What I'm going to tell you is the story. So Brendan Banfield and Brendan Banfield and Christine are married to each other. Au pair moves in, and they start having an affair. Juliana Perez Magalius. She starts having an affair with Brendan. And then the allegations are that Brendan wanted his wife dead so that he could get married to the au pair and they could live a life together. And so he goes onto this website, allegedly, that deals with sexual fetishes, and signs his wife up and signs her up to get raped by a man who agrees to do it, named Joseph Ryan. And Joseph Ryan shows up, and then in comes Brendan thinking his wife's being raped, and he shoots and kills Joseph Ryan, and he kills his wife, who's been stabbed. And then the whole thing, his story is that he was saving his wife from this rapist, or he didn't know that she had consensually agreed to it. He's charged with murder. The au pair is charged with murder. She then flips and originally didn't flip, but in exchange for an agreement to get charged with a lesser charge, she agrees to testify against him. And she's been on the stand. The au pair has been on the stand for the past 2 days, 4 or 5 or 6 hours of testimony. You can go watch it on our YouTube channel. She ended that. She was the only one on the stand yesterday. She ended her testimony. Basically said, yeah, we concocted to do this. He wanted her dead. He didn't want to get a divorce because of money issues and childcare issues. And today we saw in court. So today picked up with new witnesses. Prosecution is buzzing through this. It was supposed to be a four-week trial. It's probably going to end next week. And there's no court tomorrow. And then there's no court Monday because of Martin Luther King Day. Well, it began right off the bat today. The first witness took the stand, and it was Officer Kenner Fortner. He's a sergeant with Fairfax Police. And we saw photos, a lot of photos. I'm putting a warning at you tonight. There will be graphic photos tonight. Not like extremely graphic, but graphic. You'll see blood. They showed the bedroom. They showed what was happening the day of the shooting inside the house, and how Brendan went to McDonald's. But why don't we start off with this one? This is Officer Kenner Fortner. He shows up on the scene. This is back in 2023. There's 4 cars there. He talks about going to the basement. He took pictures. He took pictures in the kitchen. Christine's phone was in a drawer in the kitchen, not in the bedroom, which I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Her laptop was there too. And then he goes up into the au pair's bedroom and takes pictures. And you'll notice how things change between his first visit to the home, right after the deaths are reported to when he goes back, and how some of the au pairs, Juliana's closet belongings, have quickly been moved into the master bedroom. Take a listen.
Did you have the opportunity to then move upstairs in the home?
Yes.
All right. And did you take photographs of the bedroom belonging to Juliana?
Yes.
Okay. Is this that bedroom?
This is her bedroom.
And how did you identify this bedroom as hers?
There's a Brazilian flag, excuse me, above the bed, and I also was able to locate an expired Virginia driver's license for Juliana on a dresser.
All right. Commonwealth's 92, is this still her bedroom?
Yes.
What is it that we see on the dresser to the left?
There are hygiene products.
Her personal effects?
Yes.
All right. Commonwealth's 93, is this Juliana's closet?
This is.
All right. Was there anything that caught your attention in that closet?
There were red lingerie style clothing items, and then the yellow t-shirt with the green border on the sleeves.
Did you have the opportunity to look for any signs of forced entry in the home?
I did.
Okay, and did you make any observations that would have indicated there was a struggle at any other area in the home other than the primary bedroom?
I did not locate any obvious signs.
Thank you. Did you have the opportunity to return to the home on October 13th, 2023?
I did.
Why were you there on that date?
For a subsequent search warrant.
Okay, and on that date, did you again photograph the house?
I did.
Did you inspect the bedroom that had been Juliana's?
Yes.
Directing you to Commonwealth's 94, is this the same room?
This is the same room.
How were you able to identify it?
The Brazilian flag above the bed.
Did you notice that anything had changed?
There were no longer any items in the closet.
How about anywhere else in the room? Were her personal effects still on that dresser, if you recall?
I do not recall the dresser.
Okay. Did you eventually find her clothes?
I did.
Where did you find them?
They had been moved to the primary bedroom's closet.
Commonwealth's 95, is this the primary bedroom closet?
Yes.
And was there anything that you saw in the closet that made it clear to you they were Juliana's clothes?
There were the red lingerie style clothing items and the yellow t-shirt with the green hem on the sleeves.
All right. And Commonwealth's 96, another angle of the same closet?
Yes.
And we see the yellow and green shirt there on the second row?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Better turn on my mic. The defense has never disputed that they were having an affair. They said that in opening statements yesterday, but mighty quick there to move all the clothes out of the bedroom into the master, and to have, you know, the lingerie there in the closet. Now the defense came back. He was asked, the sergeant was asked about the photos taken, if there was any sign of forced entry. You know, did someone break into the home or whatnot? And the defense asked about that to this next detective, who was, his name is, oh, well, it's the same witness. This is what he asked about, if there was any signs of forced entry into the home.
Was there anything that suggested a break-in, or anybody say there was going to be a break-in?
No, no one had indicated that.
Okay. So this is just something that you do as part of your crime scene duties?
Correct, just documenting.
Okay. And it wasn't surprising for you, after you kind of heard more about the case, that there weren't forced entry or other signs of struggle anywhere other than the master bedroom?
I wouldn't expect to see struggle anywhere other than the master bedroom.
Okay. Now, the places where you chose to take pictures, were you directed to take certain pictures, or do you just go ahead and just take as many pictures as you can and then see where it goes from there?
So my ultimate goal when I'm taking scene photographs are to take overall photographs to indicate everything as best I can. Typically, these come from the four corners of the room from different angles. And then if there's an area of interest, I then come in and take mid-range and then close-up pictures of those items or areas of interest.
And that was those were your decisions, I guess, was the question I was asking.
Yes.
Okay, so he talks about what he does as the photographer for the department when he shows up and takes the pictures. We then heard from the major crimes detective, Terry Leach. He talked about how they can set up a Faro laser scanner. We heard about this in Daybell. They used it on Chad Daybell's property. We've heard about it in other trials. It's like a 360-degree camera that then they can take back. It kind of scans the whole room, and then they can take it back and build 3D and 2D models. They took photos, which they did not show. They were admitted to the jury, but not to the public, of Joseph Ryan's body, of what it looked like on the scene. And really, the prosecution really tried to make the point that his body had been moved before police got there from where they think he was killed to somewhere else in the bedroom. And Detective Leach talks a little bit about that. I don't think, just a graphic warning, this one I don't think is super bad, but the next one will be. Just a heads up, you might want to turn away if you get squeamish with blood in the next few minutes. But here is him talking about the body being moved.
What observations did you make about his body upon your arrival?
Upon arrival, I was documenting was first that his shirt was pulled up. There was a chest seal on the left side. The hands, right hand was in that position as you see it here, along with his right hand. The pants were unbuttoned and disheveled in the front. Right leg was straight, and the left leg is underneath the bed with a purple pillow over it.
Did you do any investigation to determine whether or not that was the position of his body when first responders arrived on scene?
Once I had access to the body-worn camera, I watched that to see what the officers originally came into. And when they first came in, the shirt was down and the hands were across his chest.
All right. Looking at this photo around Joseph Ryan's head, what is his head on? Let's start with that.
His head was resting on the dog bed.
Okay. And there's a checkered cloth there as well. Were you able to determine what that was?
Underneath it was a pair of pajama bottoms, that's what I refer to as pajama bottoms, and a pair of black underwear.
All right. And tell me about this blood stain that we see immediately below on this photo, Joseph Ryan's head.
Talking about the one ma'am on the carpet?
Yes.
There's a flow pattern. It flowed from Mr. Ryan's head, flowed across and down onto the floor where it started to pool and collect.
All right. Was there blood anywhere else on Mr. Ryan's body that you observed?
There was blood on his face, hands. There was some on his clothes. There was some on his chest, arms.
All right. Did you notice anything about the bed frame? I'm going to zoom in just a little bit if I can. Here. What is that mark?
Bed frame had chipping. It's a laminate material over the bed frame, and you can see where pieces were broke off. There's this one large piece. And later, when we continued on investigating, you could take your fingers in that area and you could pull the laminate in that area.
I'm going to move you to Commonwealth's 101. Is this another angle of the same area of the scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And again, we see the chip in the bed frame here. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he talks about the blood, the body. His arms are like this. Joseph Ryan's, the man who was hired through the website to come and fulfill this alleged fantasy of Christine Banfield. The detective goes on to describe that then they go on to show photos of bloody blankets and towels and how it was a very bloody scene, lots of blood, and that there was his body, Joseph Ryan's body, was in kind of a weird position as far as it just stuck out to them. Now there are going to be some graphic images that were shown that I just want to warn you about as the detective talks more about the scene.
Looking at the carpet, can you approximate here where Christine Banfield's body was found? This is Commonwealth's 111.
I used body-worn camera I watched the body worn camera to determine that. And it would be the stain that you see on the right-hand side. That is the vicinity of her head.
What did you find when you removed the carpet relative to these stains?
What I ended up doing was we pulled the carpet back. Our question was we wanted to see how far down the stains would go. And when we did that, we found that the stain on the left-hand side, underneath the carpet is a foam pad, and then you got the subfloor. The blood soaked through the carpet, through the foam pad, and then onto the subfloor and created another stain there. The stain on the right, same scenario, again, is soaking down through. But when we got to the subfloor, there's just a little stain, a much smaller stain than what we found from the stain on the left-hand side.
So to summarize, there was more blood deposited in the stain on the left-hand side than the right.
Yes, ma'am.
You need your microphone, Mr. Carroll, I cannot hear.
I would object to Ms. Sand's conclusion as to what the detectives just commented on in terms of her question.
What's the objection?
Well, I believe it's without foundation, and I believe that she's leading.
No, overruled. All right, good, continue.
Okay, so here are the two train of thoughts. If you're the juror at this point, I'm thinking, if you're Christine and you have no idea what's going on, and this man comes into your house and begins to rape you, and then your husband and stab you, and your husband comes in and shoots you or shoots at the person or starts stabbing you. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, and the defense is trying to say, was there any sign of forced entry? Like, did the guy break in? Because if he didn't, then it was her. Maybe she knew. Maybe she set this up. I think that might be the train of thought they're going down. That how was he able to freely walk in the home? It's because she set up this date. She set up this encounter with the man. They go on to show the knife, where the knife was found in the bedroom, and the gun. Well, let me first play about the knife.
Did you find a knife?
Yes, ma'am.
And where was the knife found?
The knife was found underneath the blankets, between the edge of the blankets and the bed. And the only thing we could see when we arrived was the handle. And the knife was sitting on its backside, so it's blade up. And then the handle is towards the bed.
Did your review of the body worn camera tell you anything about the final position of the knife?
This is not the original position of the knife.
Okay, so what did you observe on body worn? I think we've all seen it too and talked about it, but what did you observe on body worn?
On body worn camera, the blankets were, if you're viewing this photo, the blankets have been more to the left. The knife was completely exposed. And you could see during the life saving that officers and firemen stepped on the knife a few times, and they got kicked and moved around as they were trying to work.
Okay. Did you collect this item?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you send it to the lab for testing as item 10?
Yes, ma'am.
Going to have you look at Commonwealth's 114. Is that the knife and the photograph that accompanied it to the lab?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
So it's a very bloody knife. And then they talk about the gun, the guns plural, along with some other photographs. I'm buzzing through this. The detective testified about a lot more things. We saw photos of pants, jeans, shirts, even a shoe insert that was found inside a shoe that they sent away to the lab for testing. Here's what we know about the gun.
Did you observe any weapons at the scene other than the knife?
Yes, ma'am. There was 2 handguns.
Okay, can you describe those 2 items for me?
One gun was a Glock 19M with a light kit on it, and the second one was a Glock 43X.
All right, is this photograph of the 19M?
Yes, ma'am.
And the flashlight, you mentioned the light on it that you said, is that the red ring that we
Yes.
see at the end?
Yes, ma'am. It's the light kit. It's a flashlight underneath the barrel of the gun.
Okay. Were you able to identify who owned that weapon?
It was Brendan Banfield's duty weapon.
Where was it located upon your arrival?
When I arrived, it was on the left side of the bed, about halfway, resting on its right side.
Again, after reviewing body worn camera, were you able to determine if that gun had been moved?
It was moved, ma'am.
All right, do you know where it was moved from?
It was moved from the front left corner of the bed. It was resting on its left side with the grip portion near the closest to the edge.
Okay, if we're looking at the bed, if I'm standing at the foot of the bed, is it on my right or is it on the left?
Be on your right.
On my right. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so that kind of plays out where the gun was in the home. I said there's more and more photos. He talks about what was sent for the lab for testing, and in the afternoon, there were some forensic experts who testified. 1, 2, 3, I believe 4, maybe 5, 4 DNA forensic experts, analysts and scientists and biologists that were able to talk about the DNA that was found there. So shifting a little bit, there was also surveillance video shown of Brandon the morning of this attack, alleged attack, going to McDonald's. And they showed video of him pulling up and going through the drive-through at the McDonald's and then parking and going inside. It's a bit of a lengthy thing. This was a McDonald's that I think was about 3 miles from the house. I'm not going to play you the part where he went through the drive-through, but it's interesting to see him park and how long he goes inside the restaurant and goes to the bathroom. And you can see well, just watch it.
Now Commonwealth's 1:53. Our timestamp has moved on to 7:29, so it's been approximately 8 minutes. Is that right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this
And we
is
see him-
after he's
what-
gone through the
I'm sorry,
drive-through.
1:54, and we see him pulling into a parking spot.
He's just gone through the
Yes,
drive-through.
ma'am.
And that's Mr. Banfield getting out of his car.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we've changed angles and we see him going into, do you understand that to be the bathroom of the McDonald's?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's at about 7:29 and 30 seconds-ish. And so I'm gonna try to move this on a little bit. We're gonna go to 7:30. Just kind of advancing it in 30-second increments. He's still in the bathroom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody else has gone in the bathroom. Is that what that looked like? That wasn't him,
Yes.
right? Okay. Okay, and someone's come out of the bathroom area. Still not Mr. Banfield.
So he's in the bathroom for a long time, clearly. After going through the drive-through.
Okay, we've hit 7:37. So he's been in there for approximately 7 minutes at this point. Do we now see him exiting and on his phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And our camera angle shifts and we follow him still on his phone out to his car. And is it 7:37 and approximately 30 seconds that he's getting in his car, still on the phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so interesting. Bit by bit, we've covered these trials before where it's little by little by little where they set the stage as to the timeline as to where people were going, what they were doing. Who would ever think that the McDonald's surveillance camera, I'm sure he wasn't thinking, would capture his moves going in and out of there. Um, we go on to, and you can go back and watch the whole testimony. They go through the phone logs from that morning, his call history, who was calling whom one. And then the defense makes an interesting point about the pants on Joseph Ryan. And I'm going to play that bit.
It appeared that the pants were being opened the way they were left when you found them.
When we arrived on scene, as you saw through the photos, his pants were undone, the zipper was down, and the pants were pulled down slightly. And we were trying to determine why that was.
And that was pulled down on the backside, so.
On the backside of the pants, if you're facing a person, it angled from the front down towards the back. And the back pants, the top of the jeans were underneath his buttocks.
Okay. And that caused significant enough concern that you had to go to that area?
It was an answer, I was trying to answer that question is why the pants were like that, and if they were, who did it?
Okay.
So the defense didn't have very many questions for him. The next witness was a window salesperson. And this is interesting. His name is Matthew Niederreiter. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Works for a window factory and is a salesperson, but also they manufacture their own windows. A few months before the deaths, he was called out to the home to get a bid on what it would take to put in double pane or triple pane windows in the house. And he talked about how if the thicker your windows are, the more panes, the more that you can, the more soundproof the home is. You don't hear things outside, and people outside don't hear as much inside. And it also protects for weather conditions. If it's cold outside, the thicker your windows, the better. Here's what he was asked.
And were you privy to that initial contact?
No, I wasn't just told an address to go to.
So you don't know if it was Brendan Banfield or Christine Banfield?
I do not know that, yes.
Okay. And so the way it works with your factory is someone calls in and says, we're interested in windows.
Yes,
And then your job is to go out there and reduce, loss of heat by 30% or 50% or whatever it is that they want, correct?
yes, I frankly just ask them what is important to them, and then I just measure.
Okay, gotcha. And do you recall when you went out to the house?
Oh, yes,
And when was that?
late January of that year.
Okay,
So that's when the process starts,
Okay.
that's the first thing I do is go to the home.
gotcha. And then you go there and, not to presume this, but you would measure all the windows that are going to be replaced?
Yeah, I have to walk the entire landscape of the house, in and out, and do a lot of measuring and counting.
Okay, and you did that.
Yes,
And this was a full window replacement on the house, correct?
when you say full, do you mean all the windows?
Yes.
Or do you mean, yes,
Okay,
So all the windows were replaced on the home. A couple of weeks before this, the au pair's still living there at the house when this happens. That was the defense attorney questioning him. The defense is trying to say, well, it could have been Christine that called and asked for these windows to be put in. Why, what's the big deal here? Where the prosecution could say, well, he wanted to replace all the windows so you wouldn't hear gunshots, so you wouldn't hear things from inside, potentially, could be an argument. They ended up, originally they had asked for double pane windows, but they ended up getting triple pane windows, he testified. The defense attorney also said, this is near Dulles Airport, so there's planes that are flying overhead. It's near a fire station. Perhaps, maybe that's why they wanted thicker windows, because of noise, especially at night. And the expert, the window technician said, They never mentioned that to me. They never mentioned the airport to me. They never mentioned the fire station to me. Then we heard from several, I'm not going to play them all, PD, police departments, forensics people. I think this one's interesting. I think I'll play this one. This is a firearms expert who I believe she owns a firing range. And also so what you can do through her, or her company, or I believe it's a state agency. You can buy a gun, you can get a background check, you can also go and fire at the range and get tested. And she talked about when Brendan went and bought a gun, which was early that year, a few months before the shooting, how he got a background check and was cleared, and also listed out how often he went to the gun range.
This is a record from our check-in software at our front desk for customers who come in to use the range.
Okay. And so whose record is this?
Brendan Banfield.
Okay. And these check-in dates, are those the number of times that he appeared at your range?
Presumably.
Okay. And what do people do at your range? What
Shoot-
type of range is it?
Firearms shooting?
Okay.
Okay.
And we can see that he was present on October 29th and then again December 23rd, both in 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What is this document here?
That is the receipt of payment for a firearm in conjunction with the federal form that you first showed me.
Okay, so this is a purchase for a Glock 43X pistol. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that purchase was made on what date?
January 28th, 2023.
Thank you. All right, and we have another visit detail. Who is this one tracking the visits of?
Juliana Perez.
Okay, and she appeared on those same dates as Mr. Banfield, is that correct? October 29th and December 23rd of 2022?
It appears so.
All right. In your search of your business records, did you come across any record indicating that Christine Banfield had used the firing range?
I did not.
Or any record that Christine Banfield had accompanied her husband to use the firing range?
I did not find a record under that name.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so wife never goes to the firing range. He goes to the firing range with the au pair. Again, they have said that we're not disputing that they were having an affair. In fact, that theme was kind of in Lori and Chad's thing. That, yeah, they may have had an affair, but they didn't kill him. They didn't kill the kids. They didn't kill Tammy. We went on to hear from forensic scientists, DNA analysis experts. I'm not going to play much from them. You can go watch them. There was no blood indicated in the swabs of Brendan's left or right hand, but they did say that he could have easily washed it off. It's possible to wash it off. And a previous officer today had testified that when he went to the at the hospital after the killings, he did wash his hands there. So before his hands were swabbed. So possible that he wiped it off. Also, there was none of let me see one other thing. Just looking at my notes here. The DNA evidence. There was just a lot that they talked about blood, sperm samples, and other things like that. So I think that's where I'll leave it for tonight. But that's just a taste. That's just a little taste of what happened at court today. And if you're into this story or you want to get into this story, go watch it, because we heard from Bodhi Technologies, who has done a lot of profile cases. I believe Koberger, DNA analyst. We heard from Dr. Susan Greenspoon, a forensic biologist, Catherine Colombo, a forensic scientist. We heard from Fairfax PD Forensics, a lot of forensics. As I said, 10 witnesses. So they were buzzing through it. There is no court tomorrow because the judge said we're going to take the day off, because there's been a lot of testimony today. And then Monday is Martin Luther King Day. And then maybe the prosecution rests on Tuesday or Wednesday. And then we'll see what the defense has. And so you could potentially have a verdict next week, which would be kind of crazy. But anyway, go watch the trial. We have the whole thing on our East Idaho News YouTube channel. And it would be great to hear your thoughts about that. Got to thank newspapers.com, our wonderful sponsors who have been with us for the past few months. If you haven't been to newspapers.com, let me show you their amazing website. You can give a gift as a subscription, and you can check out 1.172637,725 total newspaper pages. Here's some interesting stuff. The topics in the newspapers: the Battle of the Bulge, Albert Einstein. You know what really caught me today? Today, let's see, was it 16 years ago? 2009. So 2009 to 19, yeah, 16 years ago. I was reporting in Richmond, Virginia. I had only lived there like two weeks, and I was about to go live on TV. I had an earpiece in, and I heard someone. It was the national news. I heard in my ear that a plane had just landed on the Hudson River. This is on newspapers.com. Huge splash, then huge rescue. Area traveler marvel at the miracle. They called this the miracle on the Hudson. Remember this? When the plane went down in the Hudson River in New York and not one person died. Captain Sully, that was the name of Sully. This I just showed you the newspaper from the next day, but here was the Sunday Telegraph going into detail about it. So brace for impact. Captain Chesley Sullenberger said calmly as he turned the plane toward the Hudson River. It was a bird, I believe, that had struck the plane, gotten oh, that's an ad. Gotten stuck. Anyway, today's the anniversary of that momentous day, and you can read all about it on newspapers.com. It's fun to go back and actually see the papers. I mean, you can Google a lot of this stuff and find it, but for me, it's fascinating to see these newspapers. There used to be the museum in DC. That in the front of the museum, every day they'd have the front pages of newspapers from across the country. And I loved just walking by there and looking at how the front covers of every newspaper was different. And newspapers.com, you can do that. You can go look at the front covers from around the world and see what was in the news 100 years ago today, 200 years ago today, 50 years ago today. Go check it out. And we just have to give a big thanks to newspapers.com for sponsoring us. And you can let them know if you want to, that you appreciate them as well, because we sure appreciate you watching. Here's where I can be found. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't. We appreciate you watching, and we have more exciting Courtroom Insiders. Tomorrow, there is no court in this trial in Virginia, but the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, he is in court in Utah. So we will have that video. We'll talk about it. And then I have some really fascinating guests that I'm lining up. We'll hopefully have them all next week. It's a bunch of stuff that's taken some weeks to get together. So that's my goal, to get those lined up, and we'll have them for you here in the next few nights as we continue to cover the stories. And I'd love to know what you want me to cover too. It's always fascinating to hear from you, to hear the things that are on your mind, because I definitely love your impact, your feedback. Would love to hear more and more from you. So thank you very much. Appreciate you watching. Shout out to Peggy, our moderator. Everybody say hi to Peggy. She's with us watching. Still getting good feedback about our episode the other night about my fraud issue. So many of you have been through it. It's crazy that many of you have reached out and been like, yep, happened to me too. It's just wild that this stuff happens, and that it happens so easily with these fraud rings. So I appreciate you all giving me your feedback and reminding us all, if you have the same password that you've had since high school, you might want to change it. Or if you have the same password for everything, so many systems now require you to change it. I swear, every time I log into like my bank or like my Ticketmaster account, I have to change my password, probably because I forget it. But anyway, there's a lot of good tips out there that you can go and read, and we want to make sure that you are safe and secure. And I hope you have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great one, everybody. Thanks so much for watching Courtroom Insider. Goodbye.